Hello, welcome to this episode of Building the 200 Subscribers Special. Today's going to be a quickie, unfortunately, because of time constraints for this week. So we're just going to go through and just set up the VLS loadouts for the American fleet, which is going to be pretty consistent across all of them. So what do we have here? And I don't know if I'm going to... I guess we'll see if I'll go the route of modifying the cruiser. But basically, if we go to weapons here, these are all the Mark III, or the Flight 3 Burke. So we're generally dealing with the 32 and 64 cell VLS. So I have a standard just from playing around with other scenarios. I kind of have a standard loadout that I go with that's kind of like a all-purpose, but with a focus on area air defense. So I go and let's see if I can remember, because it's been a long time since I've used it. So because the ESSMs are quad packed, that only counts as 4 cells. Let's see here. Multi-mission. So this is the latest one, I think. But we'll leave that for last, because again, we want, the big thing is this is going to be here. RIM 174. So we want the ERAM. We have up to Block 1B, and I think Block 1B is the latest. Whereas here they have Block 1A and dual. So we want, where is it? We want the 32 cell one for this. There we go. So we... that is not what I wanted. Yeah, so this adds... Block 1B adds... Yeah, it's larger and has a much longer range, as well as the cooperative engagement capability. Here, this specifically, the 2021 version, which also has an added land attack mode, which we're not going to use, but yeah, so let's delete that weapon record, because that's not what I wanted to add. RIM 174A, ERAM SM6, DLK 1B. Which again, none of them come in 32 cells. That's interesting. I guess it's not that big a deal. Let me just do some mental math. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll just plop that one down. It's not a big deal. So for this, probably set this to 20. It's just to confirm which version. Now this is... Oh, 3772. That's the weapon record we want. 3772. Okay, can we... Weird that you can't... Okay. Well, that does not match up with what's in here. Huh. Okay. Do. Yeah, they have different IDs, so I would guess... Yeah, just use the latest ID. Because that should be the newest, right? Yes, there we go. Alright, now that we got that out of the way. And again, I'm going to change this to 20 for now. That might go a bit lower, we'll see. Because again, we for this front end, we have 32 cells we're working with. Then again, we also have a lot more ships, but... Let me do some math. 60 times 5. Yeah. So I believe this is the biggest, baddest, yep, SM3. So we're gonna pop 4 of these bad boys in the, in there. And actually, I want to check the records to make sure. Oh, these are freaking old. No. So let's upgrade to the, Mark 29, Mark 48. Rim 162E is what we want, which, let's see what that does. Versus... my active radar homing seeker versus active radar seeker, AG's data link. So just in that, it's superior. So let's set you to... Actually, we can just remove the weapon record. Make this kind of simpler on us. So that should be I think that was E, right? Sure, we'll pick that. Should be out of 64, but whatever, again, it doesn't matter. I think the simulation will run just fine either way. Yeah, AG's Mark 41, 2021, 4 per cell, so we can set this up with 16. Actually... Let's see, we're using 24 right now, 28 with this. Yeah, we're gonna have to change these a little bit. So we're gonna knock these down to 16. And then I believe this is the latest ASRock. Yep. So we're gonna plop in 2 of those. So let's see, where does that leave us? That leaves us with 24, 16, 20, 24, 26 cells. Yeah, so at this point, I'd say probably 4 of the multi-mission Tomahawks, which I believe are the latest version. Yep. And then I'm also going to put in 2 LRASMs, or however the fuck you want to say it, long-range anti-ship missile, which is RGM. Here we go. There we go. Wait, is this sub-launched? I gotta look that up. I think UGM is the typically sub-launched, right? 158. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, I think that's surface launched. Oh yeah, it even says up there I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah. So, really, late 1990s for active radar seeker. And for passive. Whatever. So, so the multi-mission Tomahawks I give more of because, well, they can be used for more things, whereas the long-range anti-ship missile has a more limited range compared to the Tomahawk. Because the Tomahawk has, like, what, 1,000 miles, something ridiculous like that. Where is it? Here we go. 430 nautical miles. That's okay, that's more than I thought, but when you compare it to this, 1,600 nautical miles, so. Alright, so that's 4, 8, 9, 10, 26, 30, 32. So now what we're going to do is, for the rest of these, is basically just copy them. And I wish there was an easier way of doing this other than making one chip and copying it, or cloning it, but yeah, we're not using any of these. So now this is going to become, because we put 2 in there, so that's 4. Then this is going to become 8. Multi-mission Tomahawk is going to be 8 here. So then adding weapon records for RIM 174A, filter by ID. So we did, what, 16? So we need at least 32. So we'll use this record, which is not the right record. Would it behave the same, though? I guess that's the real question. To our nautical mile range. Heck, you know what? The cooperative engagement data link is the weak point here, so that's why I can't use that one. Because that, you'll see, that will add a ton of capability to these. it will let the ship shoot well over the horizon. Because ship's radar can only see, because of the curvature of the Earth, it's really only effective against low-flying targets for about 20 to 30 miles. It's there. Wait, no. Come on. Okay, let's... Oh, there you are. So that's why low-level missiles, you know, those low-flying, sea-skimming cruise missiles have been such a threat. Because ships can't see them until they're pretty close. So it doesn't give a lot of reaction time, especially if they're supersonic. But if you have something like... Now, in the past, you had something like an AWACS, so they could kind of point you in the direction to shoot at over the horizon, and then you would just hope the information was correct enough to land the hit. But now with the cooperative engagement data links, the E2 can actually just guide it using mid-course update using its sensors until it's within range. So that way, if the missile changes course, the E2 can immediately vector it to a new course, whereas before, assuming it even managed to maintain the data link with the home ship, the E2 would have to detect the course change. They'd have to notify the cruiser of the course change, who would have to figure out the new course intercept and send that up. So it just shortens the kill chain significantly. You know what? Let's just play it safe and put 2 records here. Because again, I don't think it functionally makes a difference, so they'll watch me eat my words when we actually run this scenario. So 16 and 16 here. So we have 32, 36, 44, 52. So now all that's left would be to add the, are you hiding? Nope. So we want to add the ESA Block 2, and we want the E variant. Yeah, we'll just do that. So 32, that's exactly what we want. And then we would have the long-range anti-ship missile, of which we would have 4. And that should bring us up to a total of 64 cells there. And I think I have to close this and refresh. Basically close and reopen to refresh the page, and we can see, yep, we have 64 cells filled and 32 cells filled. So in total, this gives us, click off to update this. So we have 12 Tomahawks, 6 long-range anti-ship missiles, 12 SM-3s, 48 enhanced Sea Sparrow missiles, 48 SM-6 missiles, 6 RUM-139Cs. So we have a pretty formidable amount of missiles here. It is definitely not what the Navy really runs with now. They obviously are more balanced and probably have more of an emphasis on land strike, carrying maybe up to 40 Tomahawks. But obviously, again, for this scenario, you know, this was a special patrol, celebrate, you know, to happen, say, during a Taiwanese election or something. They were planning on sailing through the strait. They know tensions are going to be high. Their job isn't to strike China, it's to project a show of force, and if they're attacked, to defend themselves. So that's my rationalization for this specialized loadout. And there's no reason why they couldn't sail with these loadouts. I mean, half the reason of the VLS system is that it lets you have a modular loadout. You know, because they're all, you know, you got 64 cells, 32 cells, you know, 128 cells. They're all the same. And all these missiles fit in the cells equally. So now we just need to repeat these records, which again is a pain. Which honestly, I think cloning it might be... Oh, it does carry helicopters with it. That's neat. I think cloning it might be the easiest way. Yeah, it looks like everything else carries over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go with 5. Yeah, 5 copies. So this one, we can see... this is not the screen. I hate that there's 2 screens for this. So these are Rabbit 1 and 2. Okay, so let's get rid of them. And you are now... We're just going to get rid of these and re-add them as Rabbit 1 and 2. So, remove. So we have Rabbit 2, MH60R, country, United States 2021. What's the difference between these 2 entries? This one seems to be the better one. Add selected. Do we have... Did it take? I don't think it... Oh, it took. Okay. Well, there we go. So now... we can move him back in place. Let's see what the next one is. Wrong one. Again. Dog. Okay. That's an easy one to remember. Alright, so... no, you gotta delete them first, because otherwise, even if it does let you add them, which I'm not sure that it would, it might not put them in the right spots. Like, if I added them there, it would probably put them out on the pad, on the helipad, rather than in the hangar, which would not be ideal. There we go. Then we have cat. Okay, another easy one to remember. Remove. Edit hosted aircraft. Cat to MH60R. What do we have here? We have gerbil. Okay. Just delete you. I don't know why I'm deleting that from there. So we have gerbil. No. I was hoping the delete key would just act in place of the remove key. That is apparently not the case. Learn from my mistake. Alright, so we have gerbil to MH60R. Add selected. There they are. And now we have the cruiser, which we'll edit the aircraft first and see what their call sign is. Hedgehog. Okay. Alright, so we have Hedgehog. 2. MH60R. Add selected. And now what we're going to do is... Come on. There we go. We're going to do something a little bit different. And I'm actually going to rename the unit now. Just so I can keep it separate. But we're going to go to the weapons here. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to remove that 32 cell VLS mount. And we're going to add a 64 cell mount in its place. Think it really matters which one? Yeah, I guess we'll just use the latest DGG variant, because that's probably what they would have. Yeah, so we are going to change these to 0. And now, unfortunately, we do have to manually go through and edit those records, but obviously better to do it once than, 6 times. Actually, it'd be 12 times, because we'd have to change the 32 and 64 cell records. So this is going to be 8. We are going to remove your record, remove your record. You are going to be 4. Move record. Alright, so now we're going to add the record for ESSM BLK2 E variant. Sure. Yep, that tracks. And then we're going to add the record that just go behind. Nope. For surface launch, which will be 4. And then our Block 2A ballistic missile defense missiles, we're going to set to 8. And then we are going to set, what do we got? RIM 174A, sort by ID. And these are going to be 16 apiece. And if I'm not mistaken, that should leave us with a full arsenal of 128 cells filled. Oh, I missed one. Which one did I miss? Because this is only 56 to 64. Oh, is that it? That all I missed is somehow forgot to put the... There we go, 64 to 64. So those are all filled, and we can see that leaves our cruiser with 16 Tomahawk missiles, 8 long-range anti-ship missiles, 16 SM-3s, 64 enhanced Sea Sparrow missiles, 64 enhanced range SM-6 missiles, 8 ASROCs. And actually, another thing, I guess I may as well take care of it while we're here, is we are going to add, nope, not a weapon record, but rather a mount. We're going to be adding 4 mounts. So first off, we want the rolling airframe missile, because that's what was shown in the whatchamacallit, that concept art. we will be adding 2 Mark 31 RAM launchers. And I'm setting them to be all around the ship because I think these can be queued, so you launch them and you can vector them wherever. I guess someone could correct me on that. But then there is one more set of entries we do have to add. And that is going to be... we're going to be putting in lasers, because that's another thing they want to... So we'll be putting in the Helios laser system, which one side is 150 kilowatt system. So one side is going to be facing the left of the ship, and the other is going to be facing off to starboard. And I haven't decided on the Flight 3 Berks if I'm going to add, lasers or what have you to them. Probably not. If anything, I would probably add... Yeah, what I will do is, because if we look at their weapons, they do have one phalanx, but I know I've seen mods of these ship where that's either augmented by or replaced by the rolling airframe missile. So what I'm going to do is for these, I will basically have that mod where they'll have the phalanx as their desperate last resort, but they're also going to have that same rolling airframe missile. So that will give them a little bit extra defensive power. It's not going to do much probably in terms of like ballistic missiles, but it will, it can certainly help against cruise missiles. Oh, did that? Nope, that did not get added. I guess now my worry is I'm optimizing for air defense at the expense of ASW defense, because I do know the ASROCs I think are a little bit less. Well, yeah, that's because when I last played with it for my own scenario, I was using fictional kind of ship designs, just loosely based on, based on like the DDGX and CGX or CGNX projects. So the destroyers had 128 cells and the cruisers had 256 cells. So they're using this kind of a similar arrangement. Maybe the weapon counts weren't quite exact, but they'd be carrying typically around 8 ASROCs for destroyer, whereas here we're only carrying 6. But I guess for my loadout, that is not unusual, so. And it's not like we have a shortage of ASROCs. I mean, we have, what, 6, 12, 24, 30... We have 38 ASROCs between all ships in the fleet. So it's not like... And that's on top of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12... Maybe, what, 18 dedicated anti-submarine warfare helicopters? So this task force, I don't want to get overconfident and say it should be impenetrable, but it should be pretty fucking hard to penetrate. I guess while I'm here, one last change I will make is we are going to remove, actually, here we go, is... I do want to upgrade this to the latest. Okay, so we want the RIM 162H. Which I think should still be compatible with the with the launcher. So, and then they have the 2 phalanx. So that gives us a slightly enhanced point defense for the supply, which again isn't supposed to be duking it out with missiles. That's why we have the escorts. So, and even the carrier enterprise here, weapons. Really, they have that many phalanx? Okay. They do have the H. Okay, so honestly, I feel like it would almost be more efficient just to put small Mark 41s on the ships instead of these old Sea Sparrow mountings, but whatever. I'm sure the naval designers know better than I do. You know, the ones who actually do it for a living. Even though in the same space, well, it wouldn't be exactly the same space. Obviously, there's a lot of space under the deck that gets taken up by the exhaust gas management system and whatnot. But in the same footprint area, I think you could fit probably twice the amount of missiles. But again, that's just the length times width. That doesn't account for depth. But oh, one thing I do see that's missing here that I will add. Oh, yeah, I will add it. Let's see. Where is it? Seaguard. Nope, that's not. I don't think that's it. I know there. I know it was tested on the. Actually, I think it's cat. Yeah. There we go. I know it was tested on the Bush, I believe, and the original system was unsatisfactory, but then I saw that they were testing other counter-torpedo systems, and it's basically just a little mini torpedo that homes in on an incoming torpedo. I don't know of any plans to fit it to the future DDGX program or any of the existing Burke-class destroyers, but I feel like the carrier, at the very least, should have that as its own, you know, kind of last-ditch protection. And hey, maybe it can even protect the fleet. So that's kind of where we're at here. So now, actually, if we go around the room here and we select all our cruisers, we can see the total number of missiles in our fleet that we have for, you know, air defense and stuff. And we're looking at... Oh, that's not it. Excuse me. In the past, this would have updated with all selected units. Maybe... Do I just need to go... No, that's not it. Ah, there's a way to show it. Is it just because... No? Not because I changed the loadout. Oh, you know what? I got a better way of showing it, probably. Where unit orders. We'll just pick a random enemy. There we go. Oh, it doesn't even show it in this? Wait. Oh, it's only showing applicable missiles. Okay. And we can't see there. Darn it. Darn it. There used to be a way, I swear, I'm not crazy, where you could see, like, do I have to group them? Is that the missing secret sauce here? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so you have to group it, which we will be doing eventually once we're done making modifications. But here we can see our entire battle group here has 76 multi-mission Tomahawks, 38 long-range anti-ship missiles, 147 rolling airframe missiles for point defense, 76 SM-3 ballistic missile defense missiles, 304 enhanced Sea Sparrow missiles for point defense. Well, medium range point defense, I guess, at this point. 304 missiles for long range cruise missile defense. 38 as rocks. Yeah, so. Group editor. None are unit orders, group operations. You're unassigned. Nope. Oh, I guess we can do that. Okay. I mean, that's kind of the long-range goal, right? That bumps, you can see our RAM count up to 189. So I was a little skeptical at first and thought I might have been overwhelming the group. But seeing these missile counts now, I do feel a lot better for the amount of shit we will be throwing at this. And they'll be able to throw, you know, not the biggest counterpunch, because obviously we optimize more towards air defense, but they will be able to throw a counterpunch. Likewise, oh, that was the other thing I forgot. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta go back. Group editor. So we gotta go to you. I gotta add one more weapon, potentially two. Yeah, so first off, that's probably about right. We're going to add 5-inch HVP, and I gotta adjust the magazines for these later. So they're gonna get the hypervelocity projectiles. I'm probably gonna have to edit that for the Flight 3 perks too. I don't know if they're gonna have the HVP 5-inchers or not, but certainly I would expect that the cruiser that we're or the DDGX we're making would. But then one last thing is we're going to give them won't let me have them. Okay, that's unfortunate. I don't know why. I mean, they're just I don't get why this is a professional feature. Unless it's top. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just at a loss for words that I can't use it. You know, academic and professional only. So that's basically saying, like I can load it. I think if memory serves, like I can load it. The ship will carry it, but I will not be able to launch it even against valid targets. I don't know the reason for this, because, I mean, certainly it's something I think people would want to play with. Obviously, you don't want to give up the top secret specs, but, I mean, just model it as a... I mean, this game models nukes. You know, Minutemen 3 all across the board. So there's no reason why you couldn't just model it as, like, a Trident, or probably not even a Trident, probably... it might have the range. Like, something with half the range of a Trident with a single conventional warhead instead of a nuke. I mean, that's basically what it is, right? or what it's supposed to be. Oh, thank God, it did update the... And you know, I think I will keep the mix. I'll do a quick check here just to make sure the Flight 3s aren't being fitted with it, but oh, so they are being retrofitted. Okay. So the Dewey fired 20 HVPs a little while back, and that's one of the older perks, I think. DDG 105. Not that old, because it starts with what, DDG 61, if I remember correctly. So I guess we can retrofit all these to include the HVP ammo, because I don't think there's much modification to the gun. I think it is mostly a ammo modification. Oh, F4 is the formation editor. There we go. Where is it? There you are. Remove mount, add mount. There, so we'll just add kind of the same thing to all of them. So it'll be interesting to see how these perform, because these are supposed to have... I think they're supposed to go up to a speed of Mach 3. So they might be somewhat viable against at least some sonic cruise missiles. At least that's one of the theories, as well as just having, you know, a longer range for attacking land targets to provide, you know, short bombardment services for the Marines and the Army. We can actually... Actually, once I change this record here... There we go, we can actually look. Anti-air range 41 nautical miles. Air probability hit 90%. That's not bad, actually. That was land. Well, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, that's right. They also have inertial navigation and GPS, so they're guided to some extent. At least. Oh yeah, they have an Aegis data link. So yeah. Battle targets, missiles, and guided bombs, as well as aircraft and helicopters. So yeah, I wouldn't expect these to do much against, say, ballistic missiles or anything, but against subsonic cruise missiles, especially older ones, you could theoretically, especially, I don't know what they've got for, like, if it's a single unitary warhead, or if it's a configurable warhead, so, like, you can configure it to be an airburst or something that might be more useful against a cruise missile or something, but... there you are. It blends in because you got 12.7 millimeter and then 127 millimeters, so they blend in if you aren't looking too closely, which this late at night, I'm not really. Okay, so... add that in. And this, well, it will suffer from reload times. And I'm curious to see how the AI use it. Because again, the goal is to kind of let... Eventually, I want to set the scenario up so that we're basically just giving the AI their marching orders. So the Chinese will attack at a pre-designated time. The Americans will defend once they realize they're under attack. And we're just going to let the scenario hopefully play out with minimal intervention from me. So I'm curious to see how the AI will actually use these hypervelocity projectiles, if they'll be kind of like the first up against older defenses, or if they're going to be exhausting their supply of E-rams first. And this should be the last mount we have to swap out, so... And there we go. And I wish the, because obviously some of these we could put, theoretically, like, unmanned surface vessels on, which I think would definitely have some usability in a scenario like this, at least in terms of, you know, providing a decoy. You give it some countermeasures, maybe a radar reflector, and some noise generators, you know, make it look like it's a big old surface ship. So that way they can decoy missiles away from their mothership. I feel like there's got to be something like that in progress. I know, like, in the Falklands, the British Navy, their helicopters, they would actually have basically hold radar decoys off the helicopters with the idea of confusing the Exocet missiles to head for those decoys instead of the ships. So this would kind of just be a modern concept of that. But anyway, oh wow, these guys have so these we're gonna change to probably just all of the multi-mission Tomahawks. I could put long-range anti-ship missiles on these guys. I don't know if the game has a submarine. I mean, I could look, but honestly, I don't think there's going to be much of a difference if I load Tomahawks or long-range anti-ship missiles. So I figure I'll just load them with the Tomahawks, be done with it. Certainly, there won't be a shortage of targets. So, and this is another thing where if I would add a cell for conventional prompt strike, because I think that's supposed to be on the next block of, or at least they're looking at putting it into the block 6 or 7 Virginias, but obviously, again, we can't use it because that's a licensed feature that does not come with the consumer version. So it's a minor complaint, really. I mean, it is going to be kind of situational because, the issue with something like conventional prompt strike is I feel like it could be, depending on range and how many you launch, it could definitely be misinterpreted as a first strike salvo. So I think, you know, as opposed to like an Iskander missile, you know, no one's going to mistake that for a nuke. It can have nukes, but that's more of a tactical thing rather than like a strategic decapitation strike. And I know, but I don't know the range of the global prompt strike on these either, because I know there's the Air Force Arrowhawk project, whatever thing that they're doing that's going to be on the big heavy bombers. There's the Navy's conventional prompt strike on ships and subs, and then I think the Air Force or Army were also going to look at like silo-based ones, which again, those would probably be the biggest ones since they're supposed to have global reach. That could be mistaken for a nuclear weapons launch, but yeah, there we go. There's our loadouts. I think from here on out, any tweaks to the weapon loadouts are probably going to be pretty minor. But this is our surface group, so I think that'll bring us to a closer today. I'm already way over the amount of time I wanted to spend on this, but unfortunately the interface isn't always the best for kind of these bulk batch operations. But in any case, well, don't let that turn you off from this, though. Obviously, my gripes are pretty minor compared to what this software is capable of. But In any case, hopefully, I think next week we are going to... The other thing on the agenda was to kind of start sorting out the Chinese aircraft, so hopefully I'll have enough time to do that next week, because that'll probably be at least an hour and a half. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.